let's talk about the basic themes of this course. So first, geology incorporates insights from many branches of science. So we're going to find out that geology utilizes ideas from physics and from chemistry and from meteorology and from oceanography and from astronomy and biology. So all of these other branches of science have contributed to our ideas about geology. Okay, the next thing is that the Earth has an internal structure. So later we're going to find out that the Earth has a iron and nickel core, and then that's going to be surrounded by a rocky mantle, and then that in turn is going to be surrounded by a crust. So we're going to find out how thick each of these layers are and what these layers are composed of, and then also how do we know that the Earth has all of these different layers. Then we're going to talk about plate tectonics. So that internal heat causes the surface of the Earth to be broken up into plates that move around, and as those plates bump into each other, they can raise up mountains. As those plates are pulled apart, they can break continents apart, and they also can make new ocean floor. Then those plates can slide past each other, and then that can generate earthquakes. Then we're going to talk about the Earth system. So that the Earth system consists of 5 interlocking spheres. So we have the geosphere, which is the solid part of the Earth. Then you have the atmosphere, which is the gaseous part of the Earth. You have the hydrosphere, which is the liquid part of the Earth. You have the cryosphere, which is the frozen part of the Earth. And then you have the biosphere, which is all the life that makes up the Earth. And so all 5 of these different systems interact with each other. Then the Earth is unique in the solar system. So at the end of this video series, we're going to look at the different planets in our solar system, and we're going to find out why did they evolve to be so different. So why, for example, is Venus have a very thick, dense atmosphere composed of carbon dioxide? Why is that planet so hot? Why does Mars have a very thin atmosphere composed of carbon dioxide? And why is it so cold? So why is Earth the only planet in our solar system that has liquid water at its surface? It has oxygen in its atmosphere. It has life. So we'll find out why Earth is so unique. Okay, then we're going to find out that the Earth is run by external energy from the sun, and then internal energy from the original energy from the formation of the Earth, and then radioactivity. And then those 2 things are what's going to drive the weather and what's also going to drive plate tectonics. Then we're going to learn that the Earth is old. So we're going to find out that the Earth is about 4.6 billion years old. And then we're going to find out why do we think that is true. Geological phenomenon affect society. So on the news you hear about volcanoes, earthquakes, sinkholes, so all sorts of geological activities that affect us. Okay, then life and geology are intertwined. So one of the major events that occurred in the history of the Earth was whenever the first kind of bacteria that could produce oxygen. So the first kind of life that was photosynthetic was a bacteria. And so as it started to pump oxygen into the atmosphere, one of the things that happened to that oxygen was it reacted with the oceans, and it started to rust iron in the oceans. And then that precipitated to the bottom of the ocean, and made layer after layer of rust. Today, we mine that in order to get the iron back out of it, and that makes up all the steel that's in buildings and in cars that we use today. A lot of that oxygen also went into the atmosphere, and it made an ozone layer. And then once that ozone layer was in place, then that blocked ultraviolet light from hitting the surface of the Earth, and then life could evolve on Earth. Earth has changed over time. So we're going to look at the geological history of the Earth, starting with its formation, and then we will talk about where did the Earth's oceans come from, where did the Earth's atmosphere come from, how did life begin, and then how has life developed over time. Most of our resources come from the Earth. So we're going to look at, for example, oil, coal, iron that we use to make steel, all of the different minerals that we use today. So the silicon that is in your computer chips, that comes from sand, for example, and that is quartz. So all of this comes from the Earth. Geology helps you to visualize your surroundings in 4 dimensions. So you have 3 dimensions, which are length and width and height, and then the 4th dimension is time. So one of the things that we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to make charts and diagrams and maps to help us visualize the Earth in 3 dimensions, and then also to illustrate how time affects geology. And then we're going to learn about the scientific method. So how do we go about disproving theories? And we'll talk about that in a segment that's coming up. All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, let's talk about the Earth system.